This is what I'm currently working on in the realms of inner child work as we speak. My current little project that I'm working on is so making a list or just recalling all the things that stood out to me, like that I was minimized for. Like I was, Brandy, come on. You're being too dramatic. Like you're overthinking things. Like you being too that like all the things, like you being too soft-hearted. You need to toughen up. Like you can't cry about everything. You can't get emotional about everything. So all those things that still to this day, 45 years later, are thorns in my ass from childhood that I'm still having a hard time fully sinking into because it was such an issue growing up. So I'm trying to see how I would have grown and what I would have blossomed into had those things been cultivated and there was space allowed for me to be sensitive and for me to be a free thinker and for me to be creative and always thinking outside the box. Like, what would it have looked like if I would have had a family that would have embraced that and encouraged it and like gave me guidance on on what to do with all that stuff? Because I do recognize that the majority of Americans or humans aren't that aware of energy and behaviors and patterns and all those things. And now that I know, kind of have language and words for it, at least words and labels enough that it gives me enough of a leeway for me to research different things and I'll get the information that I need. But yeah, so that's something that's helping me reprogram that, hey, it's safe to be a free thinker and a creative thinker and to not just be able to stay in the confines of a box that's already established. But there's also a time and a place for those things. And depending on how much I want to act and be free to be that authentic me is going to determine the spaces that I allow myself to go in. Because I can't expect to go in a very matrix spot, like for instance, like with at work, I can't go and be my authentic self there because it just wouldn't work, whereas if I'm at a women's circle, or a sound healing, or, something that's in that community, I am free to collapse and to be witnessed. Like that's a safe space for it. And right now, until I can exist in primarily that more spiritual realm and be surrounded by more people like that, in order for me to keep my safety and my nervous system regulated, I have to recognize where and when I can be vulnerable.